Alright fellas, here we are back in Pokemon Masters, and today we're going to be doing the damage challenge against N, who is weak to Bug. Um, yeah, I've already beaten it, 0 points, that was for a test. And I do want to say, because of that test, we now know that the event is kind of bugged. Or at least it was bugged. For some reason, whenever I beat the challenge, it didn't give me the 100 gems, but I've logged into the game now, and it's giving me the 100 gems. So cool, I guess. I don't know how that works, but whatever. I don't really care that much. We're gonna be doing the damage challenge here. I've got a few different ideas for teams. We're gonna see how many points we can get. Big thing here for free-to-play players or semi-free-to-play or whatever is that you can use GUZMA alongside Chorus and any combination of Signature Elisa, Costume Ingo, Red, I think maybe Steven, Special Costume Steven could work pretty well. But for the most part, if you want to do a kind of free-to-play setup, centering around GUZMA is probably going to be the best thing you can do. But of course, there are obviously better options, such as Signature Hilbert is probably the best option, I'd say, and then obviously Costume Barry, who is a very, very good option as well. So if you have either of those, then they'll be a better match, though Hilbert wants to be at least 3 out of 5 to be better than GUZMA, and I'm not sure about Barry, but whatever. Let's go ahead, hop into the battle here, and I guess just see what this event's providing, what strategies I can make up. I might try multiple, I'm not too sure. So in the first setup here, we're going to be using GUZMA alongside Red and Snorlax, as well as Chorus. Chorus is nuts for this battle, and so is Red. Well, sorry, not this battle, this event. Chorus is probably one of the best sync pairs for this event alongside Red, and if for a more free-to-play alternative, Signature Elisa. Big thing that these characters do is, in Chorus's case, he can debuff defenses, which is already really good. Of course, he can stall the enemy with Thunder Wave by having them be paralyzed. They don't take, they could get paralyzed, they don't take an action that, reduces time, and he's got the big strat of spamming Thunder Wave whenever the enemy's already paralyzed, which reduces sync countdown at such a rate that no other unit in the game can basically compare. And so we utilize that strategy here in order to, alongside Red with his sync countdown and crit buffing and super effective next applying, in order to basically get a ton of sync moves in with GUZMA before the timer is up, right, which is obviously the big goal. So there's obviously more effective ways to do this. I didn't really look up any videos. I just kind of looked at the strat, saw kind of how it worked, and went with it. Never really tried to optimize it that much. Only aiming for 1 million points here, not really aiming too high. So obviously, expect some errors for sure. But again, you can see the big thing here is we're just spamming Thunder with Chorus. We use a Red trainer move after the sync or whatever in order to give GUZMA the super effective next back. But other than that, we're pretty much just spamming Thunder Wave. I did not need to go for that max replenish, by the way. That was not necessary. Didn't matter. Anyway, as you can see here, just keep spamming Thunder Wave, and it basically allows the enemy to not move for the most part, or they don't take an action forever because of the such short animation time of Thunder Wave. It's really, really useful, and of course, Chorus also having Go Viral, not Go Viral, Infliction Freebie does give him the free moves next just for existing, which is really, really good. It would probably just be better here to spam Thunder Wave with Chorus instead of using the training move with Red, and you'll see a better usage of that in the next battle, because I ended up recording 2 battles for this, so keep that in mind. Whatever. Point is, this is a setup that is pretty effective, to say the least. Chorus is one of the best sync pairs for this event. It's nuts. The only real thing that is very annoying about this is, of course, the enemy may not get paralyzed, right? If they get paralyzed, it's really clutch, because look, their timer is gone. Like, you can just keep spamming Thunder Wave, you're good, right? Like, that's the best part about this. GUZMA was 8-0-0-85 85ths of a second left. God love it. And there we go, over 1 million, right? Which is amazing. But spamming Thunder Wave with Chorus, it worked out. The enemies use Hyper Voice, can be very annoying. But, and you'll see that in the next battle a little bit more, but for the most part, again, just spamming Thunder Wave with Chorus and using GUZMA's sync move, alongside, applying the super effective next and whatnot, that gets you that 1 million points. We got 1.1 million, pretty good, and that's without any limited, well, Red is limited, right? But you could technically also get Red for free. Yeah, because it is 1 out of 5. And that was with that Head Start 1, which Red really does kind of want. So yeah, a better explanation of like how this specific event or this specific stage is kind of working and is also kind of iffy will be going over in the next battle. So let's go ahead and go to that one, and then we'll round out, I guess. Alright, so this battle here is going to be utilizing Costume Ingo instead of Red, because Ingo is able to buff his evasion, team speed as well, which is a pretty decent one, and also apply Bug Zone, which is applying effectively the same multiplier as Red super effective next, just that Ingo does not apply sync countdown, but that's fine because of how Colress is intended to work for this specific event. Though we do have to buff our crit with GUZMA, so there is, of course, a give and take here. Using the bugs in there probably would have been better instead of waiting and using quick attack now, but it doesn't really end up mattering too much. Trust me, we end up getting the 1 million points nonetheless. But this makes better usage of Colress's Thunderwave spam. And if you do not make use of this strategy, I highly implore that you do, because it is very effective spamming Thunderwave once you're fully set up and whatnot. Because like once you're at the point where it does not matter what you do, you're fully set up, you're ready to get to your next sync move, spamming Thunderwave is what you want to do. I went for Bug Zone there because we're pretty close to the sync move. That's pretty much it. But spamming Thunderwave here, getting all of that stuff up, and then using the sync move right afterwards, and then spamming Thunderwave again is really your best strategy here. And this is where Hyper Voice becomes annoying, because as you can see, the crunches and whatnot, we're evading those, right? We're doing really good to evade those crunches, but the Hyper Voices, because the team does not have evasion buffs, is really annoying. So we really want to rely on paralysis here. That is the biggest way to ramp up these sync buffs, ramp up these sync moves, whatever, is by spamming Thunderwave, hoping the enemy gets paralyzed, and hoping that they miss their moves. That is the big thing with this setup is, again, getting paralyzed and having Ingo dodge. That's it. And as you can see, it works really, really well. Look how close we're getting to our sync moves. Look how many moves the enemy's just pretty much unable to take, right? It's really, really effective. Pretty sure we're actually able to get to our, we're able to get to our third sync move in these 38 seconds before the enemy actually ends up being able to, the timer ends up running out, right? Which is really good, really, really good. So just keep spamming Thunderwave here, and again, you can see it. Just the sync countdown is so fast. It's even faster than any sprint character, right? There's no character in the game that can really do this amount of sync countdown this fast. Maybe a team, right, with like Head Start 1 and Head Start 2, whatever, but still, for the most part, Colress's ability to reduce sync countdown is why he's so good, and even just outside of the stage. You don't have to be using Colress in order to have that same effect. You can also use like BP Berry, right? Where he's also got Sun Spore, he can do the same thing for the most part. But Colress with Go Viral, as well as also his defensive debuffs and pretty decent defensive prowess in general, is making him the more suitable option, especially again because he's a physical enhancer, again, with the defense debuffs. So Colress is really your best bet for this event. Bug obviously is not a great type, so being able to find any free-to-play alternative to get at least 1 million points is definitely worthwhile, because that's your baseline pretty much, is trying to go for 1 million points. And GUZMA plus Colress is a very good combination to do that, or at least get very close. The third character for a full semi-free-to-play setup, I guess, would be Signasuda Lisa, but that one does require a lot of NPR on her trainer move, and she's only got 1 usage of it, so you will be needing quite a bit of luck there, and that will be pretty reset heavy. I would showcase it if I felt like it, but I don't really have the time, so I just went with these 2 setups here with Red and Ingo, and there's of course a ton of other setups. Again, Signasuda Hilbert with dupes is the best thing you got, and I think there's Costume Berry. Those are your 2 better options than GUZMA, but whatever. That's my thoughts about the Bug Week damage challenge. Figured I'd go ahead and get this out there. Got 1 million points this time around. Didn't end up getting 1 million for the fighting one, though I could have. I just got lazy, but whatever, yeah. Let me know what points you got and what score and whatnot, and the master placement, whatever else, and I'll see you all later.